everyone. So today we are going to talk about on Ayub Khan and his domestic policies, including all his reforms and his vision. So let's get started with it. Ayub Khan, in the region of Ayub Khan, the first martial law was declared. All right, you have to remember this. So let's talk about why was the martial law declared, and let's give reasoning to it. So as you know, there was injustice with East Pakistan, the one unit scheme that said they should have equal seats. Then West Pakistan, they both should have equal seats, although East Pakistan made around 59% of Pakistan's total population. Some say 54, some say 56 to 59, depends. If you write both are considered to be right as well. Okay, so East Pakistan, the Prime Minister of East Pakistan was dismissed without any proper reason, and then Iskandar Mirza removed 3 Prime Ministers during 1 year. Rapid changes in government, 3 Prime Ministers were changed during 1 year, and then Iskandar Mirza removed Hussain Shahid Shahawat. And he did what? He united people against Iskandar Mirza, and Iskandar Mirza had to ask to help from the army, and that's why Ayub Khan and army thought that we weren't qualified enough to handle the policies and to handle the government. So therefore the martial law was declared. Then we had the administration problems because of the rapid changes in government. Ayub Khan came on 7 October 1958. Iskandar Mirza imposed martial law and made Ayub Khan the chief of the martial law administration. And on 27 October, Iskandar Mirza was removed from politics. Let's talk about domestic policies and Ayub Khan seized control, and then let's talk about domestic policies of Ayub Khan. Firstly, there were agricultural reforms. Landlords had a limit to own 500-acre land. If they had more than that, it would be given to the government. Suppose if they had 519 acres of land, so 19 acre would be given to the government. Yeah, it is imposed on the land that is not irrigated, and then if you have 1000-acre plus land, the irrigated land, then you have to give it to the plus one part, you have to give it to the government. And then we had the division of holdings. They say that less than 12.5 acre land is not allowed. So imagine you are a successor of someone who has owned a lot of land, and you are given 12.5 acres zameen. That means you are not allowed to own it, and it is going to be seized over by the government. Alright, and then we had in his region agricultural reforms. We had 3 major dams during the Indus Water Treaty. They were built, Mangala and Tarabela. They were not built yet, but they were promised. And then pesticides and fertilizers were established. Loans were given. Farmers were given modern education and taught HYV. And insecticides, fertilizers, and machinery, they were taught this, and productivity went higher. This is also called the Green Revolution period. All right, it's a really crucial time for our country. Let's talk about what we have studied so far. Firstly, we got to know why martial law was declared. Martial law was declared because of the injustice with the East Pakistan. 1 year scheme, you have to give the reasons. And then we had the Prime Minister. What happened? Iskandar Mirza asked for help from the military. And then we have the rapid changes of the government, and then we have the Ayub Khan policies. Then we have the Ayub Khan, the introduction. 7 October 1958, Iskandar Mirza imposed martial law and made Ayub Khan the CMLA, the Chief Martial Law Administrator. And then on 27 October, Iskandar Mirza was removed from politics. And then domestic policies, agriculture policies, landlords had a limit of 100 a 500-acre land, and if it was more than that and it was not irrigated, then it had to be given to the government. And then we had the more part, actually not the whole land, and then we had 1000-acre plus land, if irrigated, was supposed to be given to government. Division of holdings were that from less than 12.5 acres, I mean, it was not allowed for, it wasn't allowed to own. And then we had the 3 major dams were built because of the Indus Water Treaty, Mangala and Darbela, and another one. They were not built yet, but they were promised. And then pesticides, fertilizers, loan were given for farmer, were given modern education, and modern methods were taught to them. HYV seeds, and then pesticides, fertilizers, and machinery. Productivity went high because of this, and there was green revolution in the country. And then we have the resources, economic reforms. Because there was agro-based industries. The agro-based industries are like the agriculture industries, alright, agricultural based industry. They flourished during his region because it was the Green Revolution, remember? And then 1962, oil refineries were found in Karachi, mineral development happened, and then export bonus scheme was done. Like, if they export, people who exported and stuff were given bonuses. And then national annual economic growth happened. They were like 7% growth, okay, 3 times faster economy than other South Asian countries. Then we have the social reforms. He took action against people who were stalking goods and selling them at higher prices. So because of this, the prices went normal, and then he fined the prices of milk, alright, fixed the prices of milk. And then refugee houses scheme were developed, and there were family laws to birth control. More than one wife was not allowed until the wife had died or the husband has been given permission. And then we had the marriage and divorce laws, that marriage and divorce should be registered, and there were no early marriages before 16, and family planning programs were there. It was recommended for people to have only one child. And then there were constitutional reforms. There were basic democracy. Democracy was when people could vote, alright. Democracy, there are many types of governments: federal government, democratic, constitutional, presidential, and autocratic, this and that. A lot of them are present, and basic democracy was there, that people could vote. Democracy means people can vote. And there was a 4-tier structure of voting, alright. First, local people will select people of local community. Local people will select one person, alright, and from the local community, one person will be selected. District council, one person will be selected, and division from district council, one person will be selected of division council. From division council, etc. This happened and this continued. 4-tier structure was there, alright. Local people were selected. Local people are going to select their ambassador, and then the ambassador is going to be part of local community. Local community is going to select one person. One person is going to be part of district council. District council is going to select one person from all those people from local communities, and district council will have select one person for division council. And then from this we had around 80,000 people were selected. Then there was the educational reforms. Ayub Khan started literacy programs, technical, and they were institutional. Primary education was free. 8th class till 8th class was compulsory, and national cadet crops training school were set up. Medical and national schools were built. Then there were the military reforms. Budget and defense went up. Signed military agreements with Western budgets. Received modern weaponry and set up the space program. And then it was also used to develop missiles. Alright. So we were talking about his successes, and we're not going to include his failures. Alright, you have to remember that. So let's review everything we have started till now. So Ayub Khan, martial law. Why was the martial law declared? Martial law is where no one can. Martial law is not the same as dictatorship. Dictatorship is when one person holds the absolute authority. Okay, it's like autocratic. One person can decide the future of you, the future of people living in that country. But it was not a dictatorship. Dictatorship was like in Nazi Germany before in Hitler's era. That was dictatorship, another example of dictatorship. But this martial law is when no one can say anything regarding the government. No changes will be made during these years of the martial law. Alright? No constitutional changes. One person holds authority. And we had, why was the martial law declared? Because of the 1 year scheme, alright? Injustice with the East Pakistanis, and then the Iskandar Mirza asked for help from the military, and then the rapid changes of the government. 3 prime ministers were changed in 1 year, and then we had Ayub Khan, 7 October 1958. Iskandar Mirza declared martial law and made the Ayub Khan the chief martial law administrator, and on 77 October, Iskandar Mirza was removed from politics. And then we had the domestic policies of Ayub Khan, the agriculture reforms, landlord limit was that 5,000 acre and of the land that was not irrigated, and 1,000 acre was the limit of the land that was irrigated. And then there was a division of holding. 12.5 acres were not allowed for anyone to have, and then there were 3 major dams were built, and pesticides, fertilizers, loans were given, farmers were given education of the modern method, and HIV leaks, insecticides and fertilizers and machinery. Productivity went high because of all these schemes, and this period is also called the Green Revolutionary era of Pakistan. And then we have the economic reforms. Agro-based industry flourished. And then 1965, oil refineries were found in Karachi. Mineral development happened. Export bonus scheme was there, and national annual economic growth was 5%. It increased 7%. Sorry, and then 3 times faster economy than most South Asian countries. And social reforms were that he took action against the people who were stocking stuff, and then they were selling it at higher prices, and he fixed the prices of milk and other resources. Refugee housing scheme was developed, and family laws were there to control the birth rate. No more than 1 wife was allowed unless you have the permission of the first wife, or the first wife has died. And then there were the marriages, divorce, they should be registered, and there were no early marriages law, and family planning programs were there. So constitution reforms, basic democracy, 4-tier structure, local people select people from local community, district community, and division people. 8k people were selected because of this, 80,000 actually, sorry. And then educational reforms. Ayub Khan started the literacy programs, technical institutions were there, and then the primary education was free, and it was compulsory for people to be educated till 8th class. And the National Cadet Corps training school were set up, and national schools and medical schools were built. And then there were the military reforms. Defense budget went up. He signed treaties, agreements with Western budgets, received modern weaponry, and set up a space program. What he did, Western budgets, signed treaty with Western budgets, and received modern weapons, and set up a space program because he had really interest in spaces and stuff. So SOPARCO was set up, developed missiles, and it was a space program set up. Yes, that's it. Ayub Khan reforms, because we're not talking about the backlashes, we're talking about the his good side of his reforms. So in next video, I'm going to share the backlashes and the things that did not work out for him. So for now, that's all for today. Meet you in the next video. Thank you so much for coming till here. Thank you. Bye bye.